How the hell am I going to keep this short when I like to talk? Alright, I'm going to stick to the facts. Warmoth Strat build. If you've never built anything from Warmoth, I promise you'll be very happy. I'm going to cut to the chase on that point. Like I said, I'll talk facts. What were my goals? I'll talk some costs if I can remember the cost of everything. I'm a little excited. I got a day off of work today. Took a day of vacation. Kids, first day of school. Little one's going to kindergarten, so I just wanted to walk her in there. And my Chase Bliss automaton just came in the mail. Motherfucker. Oh, anyway. Okay, Warmoth. Talk a bit about Warmoth. Go to their website. You pretty much order any custom option you want, from neck radius, fret style, neck shape, scale length. Every wood you can imagine. On and on and on and on. Just go to the website. I can't blab on that too much. So what was my goals? My goals was to build something that was very similar to the John Mayer black one. I'm not a huge John Mayer fan necessarily. I've always liked that guitar. I wanted something very similar. I wasn't building any replica of that, but just I always liked the aesthetics of that guitar. I had ordered the body and everything from Warmoth right when this coronavirus bullshit started. So it took a while to get here. Quicker than I thought, but a while. I had originally ordered some Klein Jazzy Cats for this, but they were sitting in my workbench here for about a month, and I was like, hell, I ended up getting a different guitar and ended up slapping them over there, and they're staying. So either way. Anyways, nutshell. Alder body. It is their vintage routing, which is routed specifically and only for a single, and it's a shallower route as it was on vintage Fender instruments. So if you ever plan on putting something with like a stacked single coil in there, it may not fit. It has a little warm routing for the wiring and stuff. And if you plan on putting a humbucker in there, you're gonna be routing it yourself. So just plan ahead. But I knew I was gonna keep 3 single coils in this. I wanted the vintage contour, the deeper contour on the body. Yes, if you're not familiar, Strats have evolved over time in slightly different contours. To include their forearm cut is slightly different. I've always favored the vintage kind of contours. I'm a skinny guy. I like to have a guitar right next to me. Had an Eric Johnson Strat that I really did love. Had that vintage contours. And the second, I guess, theme build for this was to be based off of my American Vintage reissue 59 Strat that I had and sold for certain reasons. But okay, so yeah, body. Unfinished Warmoth, about 185. You select the one you want, and select the type of routing you want for the bridge. Bridge holes, vintage 6-screw or your posts. If you buy the bridge from Warmoth, they'll install the inserts for you. Like I said, this is about as straight up as you can get. It was an unfinished body, vintage route, 6-screw route, and nothing special on that. About 185. The neck is 25.5 scale length as normal, 10 to 14 radius, which is Warmoth's modern construction. I've had various Warmoths that I built in the past that I've always loved that. Compound radius 10 to 14. The neck by itself, unfinished rosewood, flat sawn maple, not coarse sawn, but flat sawn, was $165. Your stainless steel option, as I remember, is $30 if you want stainless steel frets. And I chose the Tusk White XL, which I was going to buy one and install it anyways and cut it. I was like, hell, I'll just have them cut it and install it, and it's cut perfectly. So that's another, I think, $14, something like that. So you got about 195. It's a hair over 200 for the neck. I did not get these tuners from Warmoth, but these are Godo vintage style locking, modern, but still sort of vintage, and that was the whole point. These are staggered. I didn't want to put a string tree in there. Let's see, Godo bridge from the Warmoth website. The tuners were not from the Warmoth. I got those from Reverb. Godo vintage bridge. I think it's about like only $50. It's a solid steel block. Everything's solid steel on it. It's a no-brainer. I've got a Godo 510 bridge on my Sir Classic S, and I think it's a great bridge, great sounding bridge. I selected gold hardware. I had no intentions of doing any aging because gold wears very, very quickly, and I've been playing this a lot in the last month and a half, and it's already wearing off, so that's pretty cool. Okay. So, relicking, yeah, if people like it or people love it, I really don't give a shit what you think. I wanted to do it. Every nice guitar I've had, Eric Johnson Strat, American Vintage reissue, Les Pauls, everything that's very expensive, other than my Sir Classic S, always end up staying in a case. They played great, they sounded great, but they end up going back into a case so they wouldn't get fucked up. And they spent a lot of time in there because I would just grab my other guitars. So I end up having all black Strats. This one I knew was going to be black, like I was saying, the theme of it. I'll build out the John Mayer black one. Okay. Quality, Warmoth, hands down, great. Neck pocket and neck fitment is excellent. I mean, you will literally have to push that neck down into that neck pocket when you first get this. And in fact, I'll skip ahead here. You know, I used some Deft nitrocellulose lacquer on this. I let it cure for about 3 weeks, and you know, I put the guitar together. And I went to take the pick guard out the other day, and I literally cannot get the fucking neck off this guitar. Cannot. Will not come out. They're permanently together, so I just lifted up the pick guard and had to retouch up a solder joint. And it's going to stay there forever, because they are just about permanently bonded. But yeah, neck fitment, body, absolutely perfect. And that has, I'm on my 6th Warmoth order, and they have all been exactly the same way. This is a medium, no, I'm sorry, a standard thin neck profile. I've ordered that twice before, a couple years ago, several years ago when I built them. When I got them this time in the mail, I was like, damn, that's a lot thinner than I remembered. But as soon as you put strings on it, you know, you get that feeling of course, strings and the entire girth of the neck and stuff. But very playable. I do like the standard thin. I've got rather large hands, and it's very comfortable. It's personal preference, so whatever. The little fender decal, I got the water slides from, can't fucking remember the name of the company, but they're about $20, I think, for 2 sets of them. Those ones are very nice. They have all different eras and versions of logos on there. Definitely good. Okay, so let's talk about frets. What are you going to have to do for Warmoth? That's like, I think, the biggest question people, or biggest worry people have. Like, well, does Warmoth level the frets? No, Warmoth does not level frets. Could you play that thing straight from Warmoth? Stick it on a body? Yes. I have literally not had a single issue with any high frets. And I've checked the level of all of them when I got them. But I still will run some sandpaper over there. So, okay, in a nutshell, what are you really going to have to do to get it to that broken in feel, if that's what you want? One, you are going to have to dress and round off the fret ends. They're actually pretty good, but if you get a little, I think it's like an $18 fret end file from Stu Mac, you know, you go around the edge of every single one of those just to get them butter smooth. It'll take you about 30 minutes. The fret ends itself, I have an old knife sharpener and diamond file that I use. I just round off just a little bit. And then when I want to do my final, just baby soft feeling, I got these little things from Hobby Lobby, these little sanding sticks, and they have like a little padding in there. If you want to just, you know, get really anal and tandem on your frets, which I do. You can get all your fret ends nice and smooth. As far as leveling goes, if you're new to leveling, go look at videos and stuff. I've had this Stu Mac. I think this thing was like $60. I mean, but it's been its worth weight in gold. It's got a short scale and long scale on it. But if you want to check the straightness of your neck, which you will need to get your neck perfectly straight before you do any leveling, you're going to need one of these. You will need them, hands down, period. Just spend the damn money and get it. It's going to last you a lifetime. You set your neck completely level, and like this is a radius block 9.5 from Stu Mac. Now I'm not using the actual radius. I'm just using the backside as flat, and I just take off just a little nip. And they were I literally could not find a high spot. They all sanded down pretty easily. Now I'm talking about fret leveling, assuming most people know how to do it. So I'm just glazing over that. It's not an instructional course. I'm just telling you, what do you really expect to get from Warmoth? Could you play it out of the box? Goddamn right, you sure could. Every one of them I had, I know I could have. I like working on guitars. It's what I do. I work on guitars more than I play them. So I just do a light leveling, and fret buzz, I keep my action very low. It's very nominal, and I don't mind a little bit of fret buzz. It's okay, as long as it doesn't kill the note. But playability has always been great. Action has always been great on all my Warmoths. So in a nutshell, what do you have to do? You have to do some final finishing on it. That's what it comes down to make it feel broken in. If you're into the whole relicking thing, this was sort of my first attempt at like trying to make it look pretty nice. I don't care what people think about relicking. These are my guitars. So, what did I end up finishing this thing with? I used shellac, which was about, I think, maybe $10 from Ace Hardware or wherever you want to go. and sealed the wood with that, sanded it down. I came back over, I chose this paint this time, which I really didn't care for this paint too much. It's the Rust-Oleum Universal Advanced Formula. It's, even though I heat it up in a hot thing of water, it's still, it doesn't spray on very good, but it'll level out very well once it sits. And sanding that back, of course. And then I use a can and a half of Deft Clear Wood Finish. And that is supposed to be a nitrocellulose lacquer, which technically it really is. So, and I also use that on the neck. The Deft goes on it is very thin. It lays down super smooth. And it's literally dry to the touch in about a minute and a half. And that's like 3 coats or 3 passes. And I'll do about 5 coats of that. That's all. And it's still super thin. I hope it comes out in the camera on this, but you know, I sanded that back with steel wool, then, you know, rubbing compound and polished it out. But after about a week of that finish being on there, I actually just sunk right down into the grain, which is cool. You know, I wasn't going for some high gloss finish or anything. And you can actually see the grain through the finish. That's how thin it is. But of course, I did a little artwork on the back to make it look a little worn. You know, it's just my thing. I prefer to have guitars that I don't have to try to keep nice. Like I said, all my nice ones stayed in cases, then I end up selling them. So, God, that was a rambling kind of video, but all in all, I have always been extremely happy with Warmoth. If you can be extremely frugal on there, knowing that you're going to put some work into some stuff, you can walk away with a great guitar that plays great, made out of great materials, and has all your options on it for way less than you ever will from Fender or most major brands. I would compare this guitar very easily to my Sur. It's not quite there. I mean, I still have some final finish setup to do on this guitar. But in the end, does it play perfect? Yes. Is it easy to play? Yes. Does it sound great? Yes. Does my Sur? Yes, of course. My other guitar? Sure. So if it makes you want to play it, it's good. I think total cost on this guitar was right around $800, which is really damn good. And like these Mojo Tone 59 clone pickups, great pickups, about 150 and some change. And you know, pickguard's about 25 from Warmoth. Electronics, you're gonna spend about another 50, 60 bucks depending on if you want to get some quality stuff. These are all Mojo Tone pots, and you know, you got all your screws and all that kind of stuff to spend. It adds up, of course, but still, $800 for a great piece of wood. And that includes all the finishing stuff and rubbing compound and all that jazz. And that didn't even include the sticker on there or the water decal. I don't charge myself for elbow grease, of course, so you can't factor in that cost. But yeah, like I said, Warmoth, man, any day of the week, I'd play one. I just wouldn't buy one used off a reverb from somebody else because not everybody's good at putting a guitar together. And it might look good on reverb or something, but you get that thing home and you realize it's been rerouted on the inside, drilled 16 different times for different bridges and shit. You don't see it in the pictures, but man, buy from Warmoth. Buy from Warmoth. Have fun building a guitar. It's going to be yours. If it doesn't turn out perfect, who gives a shit? Alright. Anyways. Random video of the day. I'm going to go unbox this Chase Bliss automaton. Hell yeah. See ya.